introducing LaDonna McAbee, a woman of many talents and roles. She's not only a devoted wife of her high school sweetheart, but also a loving mother and a proud grandmother. LaDonna is a four-time best-selling international author, networking expert, and inspiring speaker, an experienced teacher. Her expertise extends to virtual designs with a strong command of WordPress. As an entrepreneur, LaDonna's journey leads you to the dynamic world of the networking expert. Here you can discover the art of making valuable connections, networking effectively while connecting and collaborating. But her entrepreneurial journey doesn't stop there. LaDonna's passion extends to creating quality promotions for products and services through the innovative networking expert millionaire marketplace. As her journey for teaching continues, LaDonna has created networking expert Mojo Monday. All business owners live, speech, and prosper. Through the variety of events, entrepreneurs, business owners, and managers can continue training in many areas of to prosper faster and stronger. Let's all put our hands together for this amazing soul, the millionaire lady, LaDonna McAbee.
Woohoo! Let's hear it for
Hey!
everyone. Come on, give some energy.
Yay! Okay, sorry, my video is just not going to play today, so I am going to have to be trained farther. Dr. Pat, that's going to be your job. I'm calling on you to train me to do that. My dear friend, friends are invaluable. You just have to value them so highly. So I want everyone now, I have some big shoes to fill. The last two speakers were just phenomenal. I want everyone just to stretch their arms up high and take in a deep breath. Exhale and keep your eyes closed. And I want you to imagine this little baby girl being born to a 17-year-old mom. And she's married to a 21-year-old guy. Way back in the 60s, in a poverty home. And, you can open your eyes at any time. I just want you to really imagine this baby girl living in poverty. Her dad never learned to read or write. He quit school in the 4th grade because you always had to make sure that you were out of school to work the cotton fields. Mom quit school in 6th grade. Again, she had to get out there and work those cotton fields. So that's where their education stopped. The story I'm going to tell you, I just wanted to give you a little background, that there's no reason for what comes next, no matter what their background is. So my dad had 12 siblings. My mother had 11 siblings back then. There was a huge amount of children born. And why? Because you always needed people out in those cotton fields to make the money. So they had lots of children. She always had food on the table. It wasn't elaborate, but there was never need for food. There was always food. There was always a roof over her head. It was always filled with cockroaches and laundry piled to the ceiling, but there was always a roof. There was always food. She became the oldest of 4. There's 4 of us. She became the sibling of 4, the oldest. And you know what? It was like the speaker said before, I could not be an embarrassment to the family. I always had to do more, behave better, go higher in my education. But they didn't set a good example. There was always fighting. And when I say fighting, I'm talking mom and dad throwing the phone at each other, or, you know, whatever they thought, a fist. You know, I remember coming home one day and my bicycle was inside the house because it had crashed through a window. And the vacuum cleaner was in the middle of the yard because it had been thrown through the window coming out of the house. Those are the things that happened throughout my life. And I remember a very young child of taking the other three and running to the bathroom, because there was only one bathroom in the house, and shutting the door and locking it, thinking, okay, we're safe now. I put them all in the tub and now they're safe. Now, I was probably 7 or 8 years old at this time, I remember. Now, I don't know why I thought that door would save us when mom and dad were fighting. Because, see, this is the thing. When they would fight, for whatever reason it was, we all knew that there would be some beatings afterwards, because they were coming after me and my brother. The babies, not so much. There was quite a bit of difference in the other two. But for some reason, I thought that bathroom door would save us. But as I got older, I knew it was my God. You guys may all think of God in a different way, but just imagine your God guarding that door for you. That's what I learned as a teenager. It was that door. It wasn't the door. It was God that saved us. Now, when the fighting was over, they would come for us and we would go through our beatings and have to clean the house or whatever it was. And the fights just continued to get worse and worse. There was alcohol abuse and medically just prescribed drug abuse. And then the molestation abuse started. Now you think to yourself, what now? You're 10 years old. What now? What do I do? Well, what can you do when you're told at 10 not to say a word? Or the 4 of you kids would all go to a foster home and be split up, and your dad would go to prison, and you would be an embarrassment. You would be an embarrassment. I want you to really, you at 10 years old would be the embarrassment. And then 11 years old, 12 years old, 13 years old, and it goes on. And does mom do anything about it? No, don't be an embarrassment. Don't say a word. You will embarrass your family. You will embarrass your family, your brothers and your sisters. But you know, life is God is a very funny man. That's one of the phrases that I came up with later in life as an adult, because curveballs have been thrown at me since birth, I feel like. Do you ever feel that way? When is the black cloud ever going to go away? God, I know that you want me to be a strong person. I'm very strong. Go make someone else strong. I'm not strong enough. Do you ever feel that way? So you can either give up. This is the way I felt at about 14 years old. No judging in this room, please. When I became 14, just barely 15, I became pregnant. Yes, it's from that molestation. Yes, it happens. I don't know why God makes it happen. God didn't really make it happen. I don't think he realized, he didn't know that there was going to be such horrific people become on this earth for whatever reason. But I did choose to go get an abortion. Now, again, no judgment, because you don't know what you would do unless you follow those shoes, you fill those shoes. And I did. I had an abortion. I was not going to have a child from my father. I was not. I felt like I would never be able to get out and under the roof of that home, and neither would that child. It wasn't because I was being evil or felt like I was better than any other person. I knew what that meant, but there was no way. No way. And my mother said, absolutely not. You will have this child and you will let us raise it. I would not. And I told her that day, I will put myself in front of an 18-wheeler before I have this child. And honestly, I think at that time I would have. I don't know, but I think I would have, because I don't want another child. Now, remember, my mother never, ever rescued me, ever, from this, knowing it was happening. Neither would the neighbors or any of the other family that knew about it. And everybody knew what kind of home we lived in. But you know what? A few months later, God sent me this beautiful, strong boy. And 3 years later, he became my husband. That's my glory. He made me strong. I never told him about this until it was time for us to marry. And then I was not going to start a marriage of unknowing, almost a lie from not telling him. So I did tell him. And you know what? He did not judge. He wrapped his arms around me and said, we will get through it. I told him I never want to have children, because how can I be a mother? I don't know how to be a mother. I never had that role model. And he said, that's fine. We won't have children. Were we poor when we got married? Absolutely. My husband was a private in the U.S. military army. But you know what? We only needed us. That's all we needed. It was us. We were happy. And we're still happy. But guess what? He wanted a child later. And I took all these classes. I would go to the military and base and take all these classes of how to be a mommy, because I never had that role model. I'm telling you this story that I don't want you to feel sorry for me. I want to help at least one person that hears this story each and every time to know that you can overcome anything that you set your mind to. Even at 10 years old, 11 years old, I told myself, I will get out from under this somehow, some way. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm going to do it. But I will tell you, I found an outlet. I went to school every single day. Did I love school? No. Was I great in school? Absolutely not. But I did not have to deal with what was going on at home. Because when I came home from school, there were a load of dishes. I was the dishwasher. We did not have one in this nasty, filthy home. But I learned how to take care of a home in a weird way, but I did. And you learn over time what you need to do to overcome your fears, your anxiety, and having a great partner, friend, roommate, someone that you can wrap your arms around will help you through it. And no matter what age you want to do it, wrap yourself, your environment, your bubble, put it full of people that are loving and caring and wants greatness for you, no matter what. My husband and I did have two beautiful, wonderful, independent daughters that are now adults. And I have 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. And I'm going to tell you what, don't you dare touch my family. I guard them with my strong woman, independent roar. Do not touch my family. There is nothing I would not do for my family. And I guess maybe that's because my family did not do that for me. Now, my brothers and sisters will say, especially my brothers, they will say, well, why do you hate mom? And I am using the word hate. Again, no judgment. We're all loving people here. Why do you hate dad, but you don't hate mom? Or why do you hate mom? Dad's the one that did it. Well, let me tell you why I hate both of them. And I do hate, and I know my God says do not hate. But again, I don't believe in my highest power that God ever knew that some people were going to become the people they are and the things that they do to children. And this is why, yes, my dad did do it. My mom beat us every time she could turn around, but my dad did molest me over and over again. But guess what? When mom found out, did she do anything? No. You know what she said? You shouldn't wear your bikini bathing suit around the yard, around the house. You shouldn't wear your short shorts. Let me tell you, I don't care. I was his daughter. If I wanted to run around the house at 9 and 10 years old naked, I should be able to. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. Now, I told God, I'm going to become a mom. Please don't let them be girls. Because how will I protect them? What if something happens? Because back then you didn't think anything ever happened to guys. You learn later it does happen to guys. But that was my narrow-minded thinking. And God gave me 2 women to raise. He's a very funny man. My God is a very funny man. But you know what? One good thing my mom always told me, this is probably one of 3 that she ever told me. God never puts on you more than what you can handle, and God will always give you what you need. Well, I guess he thought I needed those 2 women so that I would know that I could trust men, that all men are not horrible. And I'm telling you what, I watched my husband like a hawk because I was told all men molested their daughters. That's what I was told at 10 and 11 and 12. And let me tell you what, there was no Google to ask back then. There was no Google to ask. My husband would give his life for this family. If there was a bullet coming through the air at one of us, he would stand in front of it. There are good people out there. There are good men. There are good women. There are good parents. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. But when you love your family with all your might, there's nothing better. So what I want to leave you with my story is that you can overcome if you surround yourself. And I think a lot of it is educating yourself. Read. And there's no more powerful world than we have in today's world because there's so many books, downloadables, Google, and people that are so knowledge. I mean, I know if I Facebook anyone on this screen, they would be there for me if I had a question. I know if I called upon my friend, Dr. Patricia Rogers, she would be there for me. My friend Raw, he would be there for me. My friend Vera or Abby or Dar, Dr. LaDonna, all of you, I know you'd be there. And you know what? You don't always need to talk to people. You need to open your ears and listen. So there are a lot of people out there that learn to overcome adversity and thrive. So how did I overcome? Educating myself. Did I go to college? Yes, I did. I went to college. It didn't teach me my everyday things that I needed. Okay. I needed to go to the Army base and check out those books and listen to those tapes, and educate myself how to be a better mom, a better wife, not to throw things, not to yell, whatever it was. So I hope that I helped at least one person, if not here today, maybe someone that watches the recording. Or maybe it's somebody that you go and say, look, go watch this recording. I think it will really help you.
No way. Don't tell me the basement flooded.
And I want that for everyone. And you know what? You can overcome. I own my own business. I've owned several businesses. I just love me. I had to learn to love me. And I do love me. Are there things about me I don't like? Absolutely. I wished I was 50 pounds lighter. I wish my skin was just a little bit darker. I wished I would have been more educated, even more than I am today. And I wish that I was a trillionaire. But you know what? You can wish your life away. Don't do that. Be happy and proud of what you have today. I have food to eat. I have a beautiful home. I have a loving family. I have cars to drive. Are they extravagant? No, but I don't need that or want that. I want less stress. So I love each and every one of you, for us, everybody for a different reason, but just wrap your arms around yourself and love yourself. Thank you so much for listening. And everyone have an absolutely gorgeous life.